You probably clicked on this video for a reason, because you know that it's very important to be a morning person, because as a morning person, you can get up early and do the things that are required of you, which most likely you're an entrepreneur, a student, you're doing something that is required of you that needs you to be a morning person. Maybe you work a job. So that's what we're here today, learning how to become a morning person. When I was 20 years old, I never got up early. I was never a morning person. I was never a morning person. And there was a reason to that. And that was because my life sucked, and because I didn't know the steps required to become a morning person. So with that being said, welcome to the video. My name's Steven. In this video, we're going to go over everything you need to know to become a morning person. And I make this YouTube channel for entrepreneurs and like-minded individuals to better themselves, to grow their brand, to create. And that's what this is for. And if you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel, because I'm making content like this all the time. Let's go ahead and fire. But I do want to make this very clear. This isn't binary. Yes or no, are you a morning person? It is a continuum. To what extent are you a morning person? So by the end of this video, hopefully you're more on the morning person side of the scale, but there's still the option that you won't be a morning person, and that comes from not taking the advice that I give you in this video. So you can either not be a morning person, or be a morning person, or a better morning person, or somewhere in between. That's my guarantee with this video. So morning person skills. It's very important to understand that these are skills. Okay, and this is why they are skills. These skills are what develop the character trait. This is a skill. Morning person is the trait that you want to develop, right? Or maybe that's not necessarily a trait, but it's a part of a trait. Like being a morning person might be a skill required of an entrepreneur. And so if you're an entrepreneur, that is the trait you are trying to develop. And so one of those skills is to become a morning person. So actually, let me rephrase this, right? Let me rephrase this, because I guess the morning person is the skill. And the becoming a morning person, the actions, right? These are the actions required. So you are doing actions to develop the skill, to develop the character trait that aligns with the identity that you want to have. Because you're trying to start a business to make millions of dollars, odds are the character traits you want to have should align with that person, that identity. And so morning person is the skill, and these are the actions required. So the first action, and I talk about this in all my videos, but I'm going to mention it again because it's so important. You must have a purpose. You have to have a reason to wake up in the morning. That is just necessary to be able to do the actions required to have the identity of the person you want to become. So having a purpose, you wake up and you want to go back to sleep. But if you have a purpose, then you don't want to go back to sleep, because you can either stay asleep and continue to dream, or you can wake up and chase your dream. And hence, purpose is the dream that's the dream outcome, is to become the person that your purpose gets you to. And so you can either stay asleep, or you can get up in the morning and chase your fucking dreams and pursue your goals. And that is what purpose does for you. I have a full guide on my channel about how to do purpose, how to create your purpose. If you can't figure it out, go check it out. It's somewhere on my channel. I would leave a little tag, but I'm going to forget. So just go find it on my channel somewhere if you really care. And you should. So that's the first thing. I'm not going to go too much into that because I talk about that always. The next one is to plan the night before. So this one seems pretty obvious, but I don't think people actually do this enough. So that's why I bring it up, because this is actually the most powerful thing you can do. And the reason why planning the night before is so important is because it removes the emotion from the next day. So if you have a lot of work to do tomorrow, let's just say, and you have to do those things, if you don't plan the night before, then you are not going to necessarily get around to those things. But if you plan the night before and think, okay, this is all the things that I have to do tomorrow to be successful, then you're going to remove your emotion from the thing. So if you know you need to get up and go to the gym tomorrow, and you write it down somewhere, go gym at 9 in the morning, then the next day when you wake up and you're like, damn, I really don't want to go to the gym, you've already planned the day and you're just being a bitch. And so you can just take the day and then put it up next to the day you created. And the closer you get to lining your day with the day that you created the night before, the happier you will be. I promise. You'll be more proud of yourself at the end of the day if you've done everything you said you were going to do. So that is why we plan the night before. The next one is to set one alarm. This, I feel like no one ever says this, but I don't know if you're like me, but when I was in high school, when I was in college, I used to set like 7 alarms. I would set an alarm at like 7 a.m. and then an alarm at 7:30. And so that way I could get up at 7 and go, yes, I get 30 more minutes of sleep. It sounds stupid, but I'm sure someone out there has done that because I'm not alone on this. I know plenty of people that do that to this day. And there's a reason that you do that. First of all, you're waking up and giving yourself dopamine because you're allowing yourself to go back to sleep. So you get that little hit of dopamine of, oh, yes, I don't have to get up. But also, the reason why you're setting multiple alarms is because the thing that you're going to do, you probably fucking hate. So if you have to get up and go to work in the morning, or you have to go to school, and when you set your alarm, you get pissed off because you have to get up in the morning, it's because you do not like your life. You set more than one alarm because you don't like your life. So figure that the fuck out, because that's a problem. And that goes back to purpose. So develop your purpose. You only set one alarm, because I don't even get up to an alarm half the time. And then when I do get up to an alarm, I get up immediately, rise out of bed. Go to bed early, another easy one, but just want to make it very clear for anyone, because I've made this mistake too. Do not think that you can, especially as a young entrepreneur, that you can go to sleep at 12 o'clock and then wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and get to work. Because odds are you're going to take a nap in the middle of the day, you're going to hate yourself, you're going to be groggy, you're not going to be ready to focus and ready to work, right? Go to bed early. And you need about 8 hours of sleep. I need about 8 hours of sleep. Usually, I think I actually found an app that like told me how much hours of sleep I needed every night. It's very important to track your metrics anywhere that you can, because that's the only way you can get better. And I found out that I need exactly 8 hours and 15 minutes of sleep every single day. Or it was like 8 hours and 17 minutes. And so I do that. I sleep that amount of time and then I get up. But every single day, I try to go to bed. Like if you go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time, that's perfect. But try to go to bed early. Go to bed at 9 o'clock. You want to wake up at 5 in the morning, go to bed at 8, right? Or 9. I think 9 you can, 9's 8 hours. You can get up early. So go to bed early. And with that, I'm going to have some tips on going to bed early. We got remove blue lights. This is very big. If you're above the age of 16 and you have LED strips in your fucking room, you need to throw those shits away immediately. And I'm so serious about that. You should not have fucking LED strips in your room. LED strips in your room. Like, you're not a fucking child. You got shit to do. And that shit's bad for you. Same thing with the cell phone. Like, I don't like to look at my phone after 7 o'clock. Because I know that I've actually had times. I've done so much studying on this on my personal life. And I will tell you this. The times that I do not put my phone down and keep fucking touching it after 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night are the nights that I stay up till 2 in the morning trying to figure out how to fucking fall asleep. Those are the same nights that I watch videos just like this, trying to figure out how I can be productive the next day. You're fucked. Turn your phone off or turn off the blue lights. Like my blue light on my phone there's a setting where you can turn off blue lights and that it prevents you from like getting this harsh light in your eyes before you go to sleep. Like if you go back to primal times, cavemen went into their cave and then went to sleep. And then the first thing that they saw was daylight. And the thing is, guess what? The sun went down, the moon comes out, they don't have much light. And so they're adjusting themselves to going to sleep. They know it's time to go to sleep. But in modern day, we have cell phones, we have TV, we have bullshit that's preventing us from going to sleep. And so when I say remove blue lights, I'm not just talking about your cell phone or your fucking LED strips in your room. That is the dumbest thing. I'm serious. If you want to ever be a successful entrepreneur, get those blue lights out of your fucking room. If you're scared of the dark and you're over the age of 8, that's something that you need to dig into yourself internally and find out why. Because you should, if that's really why you have the blue lights. Like I'm going to be honest, I had the blue lights because I was scared of the dark. So, and when I got rid of them, I finally got rid of them at like 20 years old, but my sleep was a lot better. I wasn't scared of the dark when I had them. I just originally remember getting them at like 9 or 10 years old because I was scared of the dark. And then I got over that and I still had the fucking blue lights in my room. So, and it doesn't matter. I'm not saying just specifically blue lights. Don't fucking switch them to red and be like, I made progress. Like just throw them away, you weirdo. Now, let's go to the next one. Wake up early. Yes. This one's a very boring one as well. I don't want to talk too much about this, but obviously the earlier you wake up, I can't spell today. Obviously the earlier you wake up, the more ready you are for the morning. Like if you have work at 9 o'clock and you wake up at 5 o'clock and you get 3 hours of deep work in, you're probably going to be enthusiastic and ready to go into your job by the time 9 o'clock hits. But if you get up right before you need to go do something, you're not giving your body time to wake up. And so, yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about that one because that one's kind of a given. Now we're getting into kind of the nitty gritty. So do hard shit immediately as soon as you hop out of bed. So a lot of people like this whole morning routine bullshit where you like get up and then you go do your grounded walking and your meditation and your fucking cold shower. Fuck that. And the reason why I say fuck that is because all you're doing is you're getting yourself into this routine of waiting to do the work. Your mind's already in flow state when you wake up. So if you get out of bed and immediately hop on your computer, which is what I did this morning, I woke up as soon as my alarm went off, I sprung out of bed, sat down in front of my computer and got to work immediately, right? And with that being said, I did hard stuff, which is writing emails. That's something that I hate doing, but I get it done early. And I actually like to put the term eat the frog with this. I learned this from Hamza. Eat the frog is this idea that basically when you get up in the morning, the first thing you want to do is do the hardest thing first. Like imagine you had like a plate of food, but there was like a live frog on that plate of food. And you like had to eat that frog. Or even like lima beans. I think Justin Waller talks about this with abs. He says do abs at the beginning of your workout because you're not going to want to do them at the end. And so he says eat the lima beans first. And what does that mean? That means do the hard shit first so that way the rest of the day is easy. And the hard shit for me is writing emails for my email nurture sequence for my prospects. If you're a marketing company, you don't know what to do because you think cold calling is the only hard thing you can do. I promise you, writing emails suck. But There's plenty of hard shit that you can do. And maybe you, like, if you're a contractor and you wake up in the morning and you know you have to like write some emails, or there's always something you can do. There's always something that you hate doing, payroll, whatever it is. Do that shit when you wake up in the morning. Eat the frog every day when you get started, and do not waste any time from getting up and then getting straight to fucking work. Write down the actions you will take. And when I say, and this kind of goes with the planning the night before, write down your actions to a T. And I kind of chilled out on this a little bit, but I'll tell you this: I woke up a lot easier and I was more prepared when I actually did this more often. So I'm going to start doing this again. But I used to do this every single day when I first started out for probably about 5 months. I would wake up and immediately I would know exactly what I was going to do. And when I say write down the actions you're going to take, I mean, like, I would write on my daily planner: wake up, get out of bed, do push-ups, turn off my alarm, go brush my teeth, take my dog out, get water, like every little action, because that became a routine for me, right? So now how I've said do the hard shit first, like the way I have it set up is wake up, sit down, turn on my laptop, go to my CRM, and then write an email. That's the first step. And then after that, it's like write the script for this video that I'm making. I wrote the script immediately right after. And then after that, it's go to the kitchen, grab my water, grab a coffee, take my dog out, whatever it is, right? That's kind of how I have it set up. Use the bathroom, like literally write, like go take a shit in your fucking daily planner. If you know that you're going to take a shit every morning. That is very, very big right there. Get as much light as possible. And if you're waking up early, there's a hack for this. You turn on like every fucking light that you can in your room so you can get light in your eyes so you can wake up. Again, the blue light thing. Cavemen knew when the sun was going down, it was time to go to sleep. Their bodies knew. We are intrinsically designed to go to sleep when the lights come off. So when all the lights are on, your body wakes up. You wake up faster. You wake up happier. Make sure you're getting as much light as possible. Go outside if you can. So if the sun's out, like go out, not just like open your window, but like go outside and look not at the sun, but you get my point. Like go outside and get some sunlight. It helps you wake up faster. Again, cavemen, they wake up and there's the fucking sun, right? They didn't have the ability to sit in bed and scroll on their phone for hours and hours. The next one, put your alarm out of reach. This one is very, very big. I have my charger to my phone on my desk. My bed is right here. I get up in the morning. What I usually like to do is put my phone on my desk. So when the alarm goes off, I have to get out of bed to go turn it off. I can't just sit. I can't press the button. And I'm sure you've probably done this before. I've done this too, where you reach over, turn the alarm off really quick, and just immediately fall back asleep. That's not what we're doing here. Okay, we're trying to get up. So get your alarm out of reach. This has helped me. I've put a lot of my friends onto this shit, and this helps them out too. That's like the easiest one. Well, it's the hardest one, but it's the easiest one to do. All right, the next one is coffee, and specifically, wait an hour for your coffee. So wait 1 hour. And I learned this from Dr. Alex Huberman, right? Wait an hour before you get your coffee. And the reason why is because, or any energy drink, whatever it is that you drink, wait an hour to put caffeine in your body, because the thing is you haven't fully waken up for the first hour that you're awake. And if you drink coffee, then that little bit of not awakeness lingers in your brain, in your body. And by the time you're off the caffeine, when the caffeine's finally gone, you start to get a bit drowsy. So you get kind of drowsy around like 4 or 5 o'clock, and then you can't fall asleep as easy. I'm not a scientist. That's the bro science version of what I'm talking about. You can go find the podcast. It's not Alex Huberman. It's Dr. Huberman. I think his name's Albert, or it starts with an A. I forgot his name, but you can go find the fucking podcast where he talks about this shit. But that's the bro science version of how to do it. Now, the next one, no carbs. This has probably been the biggest thing that has helped me out in probably my entire life in my entrepreneurial journey, is no carbs. So when I wake up in the morning, I do not eat, first of all, for like 4 hours. And second of all, when I do eat, I do not eat any carbs. So this morning I had steak and fried eggs for breakfast. I do not eat carbs. And there's a reason for that, because carbs fill you. And the hardest thing that your body can do is digest food. So what you don't want to do is be digesting food while you're trying to use your energy for something else. Use your energy and focus for anything but digesting food. You know how this feels. Have you ever eaten a big meal and then sat down and then be like, oh, my stomach hurt, you know? Yeah, that's because of the carbs. Protein will fill you. I do carnivore only in the morning. Protein will fill you enough. Like, it'll still have you hungry enough, but carbs will like overfill you and you'll feel stuffed and want to sit down. Right. I like this analogy. I heard this one time. Like, imagine you had a guy who two guys in separate rooms. They were like in captivity for like 3 days, and one of them has all this junk food and all this crap, and the other one has no food. And then you ask both of them to come together and fight each other in a ring, and like the winner gets to leave, and the other one, like, it's live or die, and the one that lives gets to leave. Who do you think's going to win that? The guy who's been eating carbs and bullshitting and sitting around all day, or the guy that's been literally starving for 3 days? That guy that's been starving for 3 days is pissed off. And if you've ever done a 72-hour fast, which I have, and I would really recommend doing it, you will know that by that third day, you're ready to fucking kill someone, and you see life differently, and you're more energized because of what carbs do to you. So do not eat carbs in the morning. It'll absolutely slow down your productivity. We got just a few more here. We got 3 more. Here we go. The next one is to propel out of bed. Now, I actually mean to sit up immediately when you get out of bed. Like to like spring up out of bed. Again, having the purpose will help you do that. If you don't have a purpose, you won't want to do that. Spring up out of bed and get up immediately. This will help you wake up so much faster than sitting there. And then probably any of this other shit that I'm going to tell you. Like, I think the next one's pretty good on that too. But propel yourself out of bed, right? Very, very important to do that. All these things have helped me exponentially increase the ability that I have to become a morning person, the skill of morning person, right? The next one, this one's very, very, very interesting. And I heard this one time. I don't remember where I heard it. But think of your 11 a.m. self. Think of your 11 a.m. self. Your goal is to be proud of yourself. If you're an entrepreneur and you've watched this video this far, you're probably trying to be proud of yourself. And so when you do all this other stuff and you plan the night before, and you have, remember I said you plan the night before and then you match your day versus the day that you planned. And if the day aligns with the day that you planned, you're going to be more proud of yourself. And so imagine you do all these things and then you plan your day out. That's the main one I'm talking about here. Your 11 a.m. self is not laying around in bed. Your 11 a.m. self is doing something, right? And so imagine that you're your 11 a.m. self. You're in bed and you want to go to sleep. What does your 11 a.m. self think? Because I'm telling you, if you're waking up at 8 in the morning and you decide I'm going to hit the snooze button and then you sleep in until 10 and then 11 o'clock hits and you still haven't started working, your 11 a.m. self is not going to be very happy. So I always like to think of my 11 a.m. self. How am I going to feel at 11 a.m.? It's almost 1 o'clock now. But at 11 a.m. today, I was feeling very fucking good. Now, the last one. And I think this one, I keep saying this about all of them, but I think this one has actually helped me out the most. I'm so serious. All right, this last one right here is to exercise. And I specifically like to say push-ups. Push-ups are so good. They get the blood pumping. And there's never a limit to push-ups that you can do. Like, there will never be a time where you try to do a push-up and the universe is like, no, you can't do a push-up. If you don't know what to do ever, do push-ups. Fucking awesome. Wake up, do some push-ups. I promise you, if you wake up and then get on the ground and do 50 push-ups, you're going to be wide awake every time. It never fails. Ready to fire for the day. Right, wake up and do some fucking push-ups. So just to recap, before I go into the how to find more of these, because there are plenty more. I only gave you like 15, but there's hundreds of things you can do. And if you find any of them, I'd love to know in the comments. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Have a purpose, plan the night before, set one alarm, go to bed early, remove blue lights, wake up early, do hard shit, right? Eat the frog, write the actions you're going to take, get as much light as you can, put your alarm out of reach, wait an hour for coffee, no carbs, propel out of bed, think about your 11 a.m. self, and exercise. These are the 15 things that I've come up with. Remember, this morning person is the skill. This is the skill we're trying to develop. These are the actions. In order to develop the skill, you have to do the actions. And if you can't figure out what actions to do, reverse it. So ask yourself this question: what would I do to not be a morning person? So if I were to not be a morning person, the things that I would do, I can't find my marker, but fuck it. If I were to not be a morning person, the things that I would do, I'm going to give you one example. I would stay in bed and scroll on my phone. So now I've found that out. I've reversed it into the opposite direction because we're good intrinsically. We are good at finding the negative over the positive. So find the negative. What could I do to not be a morning person? I could get up and start scrolling on my phone immediately, right? Which that's one on here that I forgot to even put, but you reverse it and say, not touch my phone for the first 2 hours of the day. And now, just like that, I just did it with you. I don't know where my marker went, but I just did it with you. I would write it up on here. Don't touch your phone for an hour. I just gave you a 16th tip. But do that. Ask yourself, what could I do to not be a morning person? Figure out all those actions that you could take to not be a morning person, and then reverse them. I learned this from Alex Ramosi, and it has propelled me so far in business, it's not even funny. So these are the traits. Hope that helps you out. If you like this video, go ahead and click the subscribe button. I make content like this all the time. If you're a contractor looking to get extra jobs in your calendar every single month, click the link in the description. I will see you soon. Have a good day.